this thing out to see if it works. What's the crack, everybody? Welcome to YouTube, welcome to Twitch, welcome to life itself. Right, let's see. Let's see if my volume's working. It is working. Perfect. Sorry, my hair's a mess. I was out walking and it started raining, and of course, it being Ireland, it rained like very much Ireland. But anyway, I digress because it's Ireland. All that kind of shit happens here regardless because the weather is cack. But anyway, how has everybody been? Anyway, as I said, welcome to MLS Ireland. This are my predictions. If you're new to this, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching this on Twitch, hit that follow button. I'm on Patreon now. There's a description somewhere, I think below the chat there on Twitch. So thank you very much for joining me. Yes, you're watching this on YouTube. I'm on 230, something like that, which is pretty impressive. I'm 13 followers on this magical thing, Twitch. So I'm doing quite well, all things considered. Yeah, doing pretty well. Last week my predictions actually done very well. Well, actually, sorry, 2 days ago. There's a game on tonight, which is Lafc against Seattle, but we'll get to that now in a few seconds. It's on at like 2:30, which I will not be able to watch. I'll get to watch the highlights, and that's the thing. If you are new to this or you're watching this on YouTube, I will be doing things on Twitch probably better next season. When I get a better laptop and better stuff, better streaming services, basically just so I can kind of do like a watch along on MLS games. So basically do a reaction basically on Twitch and kind of do the whole week's games prior to, well, after the games, you know what I mean, on Twitch, and then kind of do my predictions the week after and all that kind of jazz. So I'm going to try and do that next week or next year, so into the next season. God knows I'll probably not be in this room, because we're looking to move. Well, I'm looking to move, but I'm not going to give any hints of where, but it's somewhere. So, yep, may as well crack on. The first game is LAFC against Seattle Sounders. Coming into this one, Seattle are probably the best team. Like I said, probably the best team. In form of stats at the moment, I know in the last four, LAFC has actually probably won a bit more. Well, they have won 3 out of the 4 at home, and that was against San Jose Earthquakes, Real Salt Lake, and Sporting Kansas City, which, all things considered, are pretty good results. I know they got beaten by Portland, but Portland are a very strange team and they could be on or off regardless. And as for Seattle Sounders, drew with Colorado, lost to Houston Dynamo, which was a very surprising one, but beat Sporting Kansas City and San Jose Earthquakes, so kind of standard basically for this league, beating those two. But anyway, coming into this one, I do think it will be an interesting one. Seattle Sounders are very good at their away record. Basically, this season has been impressive. LAFC's probably not as much. I think at home, LAFC were kind of letting in kind of a goal and a half a game and scoring 2 on average, whereas Seattle Sounders were kind of scoring kind of 1.5 and kind of not really conceding that much either. So that's kind of like an interesting one. I do think Seattle probably should win this one because they are probably the better team. I know LAFC are now desperately trying to maintain or trying to get into the playoff spots. I don't think are they capable of getting in? I think they're not far off. They're with 3 points at the moment for getting in, so I think they're going to be really up for this one. But I do think Seattle should probably win this one. I went for like a 2-1 win to Seattle, just for the fact is they are basically the better team. And James, yes, how many am I going to get wrong? Probably plenty today. Are you not supposed to be working? But thanks for watching. Give me money somewhere. Send me money. That'd be nice. The next one is New England against Colorado Rapids. New England now. Let's see. New England, congratulations on winning the Supporters' Shield in the last 8 games, 9 games, 10 games. At home, they've actually haven't lost a game, which is pretty impressive, whereas Colorado Rapids have lost 3, 2, and that was 2 against Real Salt Lake and Seattle, so that's not too bad. They are a very good team. They did New England actually drew last night 2-2 against Chicago Fire, and then what was the last night? 2 nights ago, I can't remember. And then they beat Orlando and drew Columbus Crew and beat New York City FC. So that's pretty not a bad wee record. Real Salt Lake beat Colorado, and Colorado then beat Minnesota. Got beaten by Seattle and Portland. Drew with Portland, so that's not too bad. All things considered, I think this one could be an interesting one. I'll go for like a 1-1 draw, just for the fact that they're actually not a bad team, Colorado, but New England probably now are just happy in their wee bubble now that they've won the Supporters' Shield. They've basically got that #1 spot, and they'll be getting a good run in the playoffs. So basically, I'll go for like a 1-1 on that one. The next one is Atlanta against Inter. Atlanta now starting to finally find their feet at home. Saying that, Inter Miami now basically lost 4 in a trot away from home. They probably actually lost more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've lost actually 7 of the last games. The last 4 they definitely lost. This is going to be an interesting one. I think Atlanta probably coming into this game would be a bit better. They have had a better record at home, and the last one was like a draw against New York City 1-1, but they beat Inter prior to that 1-0. So I'm going to go for something similar, but I think Inter may get a better goal out of this one, so I'll go for like a 2-1 win. 2-1 win to Atlanta. They're probably the better team, and Inter shall probably score goals because they're not a bad team. The next one is Columbus Crew against Nashville. Cincinnati against Nashville. Columbus Crew blood. Cincinnati only won the 1 game at home this season, which isn't good. And they haven't really won much really in the last few, which is pretty bleak. They're coming up against a team who've only won the 1 as well, and Nashville, but they seem to get a draw regardless of the situation. Cincinnati against Nashville, I will go for I went for like a 1-0 win to Nashville, just for the sake of Nashville are probably a better team, and Cincinnati are really, really not. So I'll go for like a 1-0 on that one. The next one is Columbus Crew against Orlando. Columbus Crew now are finally coming into their peak. I don't think they will make the playoffs this season. I think there's probably going to be a bit too much for them, and their record isn't all that great. Granted, at home they're doing actually a lot better, even though they got beaten by New York Red Bulls 2-1, but they beat Inter, Montreal and New York Red Bulls already before that. So again, MLS, very hard to predict. I went for a 2-1 win to Columbus Crew against Orlando. Just they're actually in a better shape. They're in better form at the moment, so I actually do pick them to actually win this one. It will be an interesting game. It's going to be on at 11:30, I believe, or something like that. So that's going to be pretty good. I might get to watch out a bit of that, or it's actually going to 12:30. I think these times are wrong. So yeah, I'm going to go for that one. And the next one is DC United against New York Red Bull. Now, in the last 4, New York Red Bull actually have won their last 4 away games, which is pretty impressive. In their last 8, they actually haven't lost a game, so that's pretty good. DC United got beaten, let's say 6-0 against New York City a few days ago, which wasn't great, but that was away from home. And their last game at home was a 3-2 loss to New England. So, saying that, it's going to be an interesting one. I went for a 2-0 win to DC United. I know form basically and all that kind of jazz says New York Red Bulls will probably have a good result in this one, but I think DC United have a better pride to fight back with and actually get a good result in this one, so I'll go for like a 2-0 win. The next one is New York City FC against Chicago. Do I really need to say much after New York City beating DC United quite convincingly, and Chicago probably drawn 2-2 there against Seattle or a couple of nights ago, so that's not too bad. Chicago's last away game was against Cincinnati, and that was a 4-3 game, which was a pretty good game when all things considered. There was a draw till about the 93rd minute, and Chicago Fire basically scored a goal out of nowhere, so congratulations to them on that one. But I'll go for like a New York City FC 2-1 win. Just they're probably in a better place. They're finally playing back in their home stadium, so they'll probably have a better way of scoring because they know how they play in that abysmal stadium. So I'll go for like a 2-1 win in that one. The next one is Toronto against Philadelphia. Now Toronto now are strange. Now they're coming into this actually having having a good wee home record at the moment. They haven't really lost that much. Philadelphia, all things considered, have only won the one, and that was against Cincinnati away from home. They drew against Montreal Red Bull. Montreal Red Bull, yeah, I'll take that. And they got beat by Minnesota. And Toronto, the only loss away at home, was 2-0 win. 2-0 win for Atlanta. So interesting. Let's see. I'll go for Toronto. I'll go for like a 1-1 draw. Toronto at home should probably get a good result in this one. Philly all the way. Yay, Philly. 1-1. Thanks, James. Philly should probably get a good result, so I'm going to go for like a 1-1. Stick it to the James, you know what I mean? So let's be 1-1 draw. Now, the next thing is FC Dallas against the Real Salt Lake. Two teams not really having a great record at the moment coming into this, home nor away. Dallas haven't won a game, whereas Real Salt Lake beat San Jose Earthquakes 4-3, but got beat 6-1 by Portland, 2-1 by Austin, and 1-0 by Chicago Fire. So they basically are winning all their home games and then basically getting stuffed in all their away games. But FC Dallas are probably not that much better, so this one will be an interesting one. But I'll go for like a 2-1 win to Real Salt Lake, just for the fact that they are a better team than FC Dallas, and FC Dallas are in an awful place at this moment in time. What do you think, James? What do you think? We're doing okay? Good. The next one is Sporting Kansas City now against LA Galaxy. Sporting Kansas City should probably nick this one. They are the better team coming into this one. LA Galaxy have only won the last two out of their last 8 games, home and away, and they've only won the last home game. That was 3-0 against Houston Dynamo, which isn't too bad when you think about it. Sporting Kansas City's last home game was against Houston Dynamo, and that was a 4-2. So I'll kind of, you know what? I'll stick with like a 2-2 draw. I think these two teams are. I think LA Galaxy trying to get into the playoffs. Sporting Kansas City are already in the playoffs, so I think they'll not have that much to play for, even though that they're going to be at home. So I'll go for like a 2-2 draw on that one. Now the second last one is Portland Timbers against San Jose Earthquakes. Now let's see. Portland lost their last home game, which wasn't great. That was against Vancouver, but they beat Enter Real Salt Lake 6-1, and then beat Los Angeles FC 2-1. Whereas San Jose Earthquakes got beaten by LAC and Vancouver, but beat Austin and drew with Dallas away from home, respectively. I'll go for like a 2-0 win to Portland, just for the fact that Portland are better. I think that last game was a bit of a freak show. So yeah, I'll go for like a 2-0 win on that one. And now the last one is Vancouver against Minnesota. I'll go for a Vancouver 1-0. Just, I haven't really seen the two of them really play much this season. I know Vancouver are starting to probably pick up. They beat Sporting Kansas City, San Jose Earthquakes, and beat Dallas, but then got beaten by Portland, like I said. And then Minnesota beat Austin away from home 1-0, but they drew with Dallas, got beaten by DC United 3-2, and Sporting Kansas City 4-0. So coming into that, I don't think they're having a great record. They do concede. They don't really concede that much, Minnesota, but they don't score that much away from home either. So it's not going to be a great one. So I'll go for like a 1-0 win on that one. So yeah, those were my predictions. Not too bad. I'm pretty sure I'll probably get quite a few of them right. So what do you think, everybody? Let me know what you think. James, you're not supposed to be working. Good man. Excellent. So those were my predictions. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to see you next one. Bye now.